Well, it's that time that we go to Kisumu County for tonight's Mind Your Language lesson with none other than our genius in pronunciations. That's Willis Ocheng, also known as Willis the Word Master. Willis, it's great to see you tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Betty, and I can see today you are looking cool and, of course, tough.
Thank you very much, Willis. Let's get straight to our street word. Let's take a listen.
Ewe, ewe, ewe.
Ewe. Ewe, ewe, ewe. Ewe, ewe, ewe.
Ewe, ewe, ewe.
Ew, ew, ew.
Ewe, ewe, ewe.
Ewe, ewe, ewe.
E-W-E, E-W-E, E-W-E.
You. You. You.
The word I'm seeing is ew. Ew. Ew.
Ewe, ewe, ewe.
Nazaona imeandikwa ewe, ewe, ewe.
Ew. Ew.
Iwi. Iwi.
Ewe. Ewe. Ewe.
You, you, you.
You. You. You.
Willis, you've had Kenyans there. They can make us crack our ribs. Do we say iwi, ewe? Which is which, and what is that word, Willis?
This is such a tricky word. This is a very tricky word. E-W-E is pronounced as you. You. It's a look and say word, Betty. You.
Let's move on to the next word. When we are talking about something that is important, do we say salient or salient?
Letter A takes the sound A in that word. We say salient, salient, not salient. Many people would say salient going by the spelling of that word, but we say salient, salient.
Let's move on to the next word. Do we say lackadaisical or lackadaisical, meaning something that, losing or lacking enthusiasm?
A long word there, Betty. We say lackadaisical, lackadaisical, not daisical, no. Lackadaisical.
All right, got it, Willis. Moving on to our next word. When you're talking about conflicting groups of people, do we say warring tribes, warring tribes? Which is which?
Warring factions. We talk of warring factions. War, not war. Warring.
Got it, Willis. Moving on to some medical conditions here I have. Do we say diabetes or diabetes?
Betty, this is a tricky one again. We say diabetes. Many people say diabetes, but the correct pronunciation or acceptable one is diabetes. But when we are talking about the adjective, we don't say diabetic. We now say diabetic, betic, not betic. Diabetes, diabetic. Yes.
Right. Got it, Willis. And then we also have another medical condition here. Do you say fistula, fistula? This one confuses so many people because of the ST.
Many people say fistula, but we have the glide, tula, fistula, fistula, just like fibula, fibula, not fibula, no. Yes.
Willis, when you're talking about the past tense of, knitting your clothes, do we say sew? I had a very interesting pronunciation from my boss. Do we say sew or sew?
That is basically a very tricky word, my sister, because when we have S-E-W, many people will talk of to sew, which is not the correct pronunciation. This one you say sew, to sew, sewing machine, not sewing machine. So we should get it. It's very tricky. Sew.
Willis, that actually should have been our surprise word. That's quite a surprise. Moving on to our next word, Willis. Do we say didn't or didn't? This is a very basic word, but you know, those two pronunciations could be quite confusing.
Is the fact that we have the consonant cluster for dnt, dnt. So many people would find it easier to say didn't. I didn't do this. But the correct pronunciation, and I'm talking about RP in this case, we say didn't, didn't. So you articulate the second D, though it's not as strong as the first D. Didn't, didn't. Yes.
Let's straight move on to our feedback question. Do you say regalia or regalia?
I remember that from Wendy Juma of Kilifi. We say regalia, regalia. We don't say regalia. Just like I said the other time, we don't talk of paraphernalia. We say nailia, nailia. Paraphernalia, regalia. So we should avoid regalia as commonly said locally.
That's a surprise, but the other one, so instead of Sue, should have been a surprise word. Well, it's always a pleasure having you teaching us those difficult pronunciations.
Pleasure too, and as I always say, it's about getting the correct standard or acceptable pronunciation, which is very important when it comes to careers of serious communication. Not everybody, like Mama Mboga, may not pronounce words this way, but all those people who are in careers of serious communication should try so that we deliver intended messages in a clear or effective way. Bye for tonight.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on the show, teaching us those pronunciations. That's Willis, the word master, coming to us from Kisumu County with tonight's Mind Your Language lesson. You can get him on Twitter at Willis Ocheng 1.